What's up guys, welcome back to CFCexplained and I hope you are doing alright. And we're gonna go through the latest news that is circling around, which is going to be around Enzo and Paez, and we're also gonna talk further on this news updates around Pochettino. So before we continue any further, as usually, if you want to be a legend, make sure you like this video, subscribe to my page, hit that note bell. So let's get into it immediately. And the good news is that Enzo Fernandez decided to do a surgery today because of his inguinal hernia pain. It's a sort of issue you have in the groin area, and he's aiming to recover in time to travel with the national America. It's understandable he took that surgery because he has been struggling with it ever since back in December. Is maybe that a reason why we haven't seen the best of Enzo Fernandez this season? Could be a reason, and a mix of that Pochettino is not using him to his best abilities and a suited role that fits him. And yeah, he will miss the rest of the season, be out for around 4 weeks, and there is only a couple of games remaining. So hopefully this surgery can help fixing the problem, and he will be ready for Copa America and ready for the next season. I have to question Pochettino why he has played someone that is injured, because that is not gonna help the team. The player cannot play to the fullest abilities. Instead, Enzo has taken injections. Now, is it Enzo's choice to do this? I don't know. I don't know what he has exactly have for sort of discussion with Pochettino and the medical staff. But we just know our medical team is absolutely horrendous, and I can't understand why Pochettino is playing injured player. It was almost as we played with 10 men against Arsenal. We have to look, and you will see the goal that Paez scored yesterday for Independiente Valente against Eiras, where Enrique is playing. It was an absolute wonder goal, and I hope this one kid will come through for us in the future. He's gonna join us when he turns 18. I'm gonna now focus the rest of the video on Pochettino, because there have been updates from different kind of journalists around him, what's going on. And this is, first of all, we're gonna go through Dan Jacobs. And nothing definitely decided on Pochettino's future yet. Focus is on finishing the season strongly. I mean, it's only 6 games left. I think they can use this time to look into manager. And honestly, I wouldn't even care if we manage to get into Europa League, Europa Conference League, because I am a firm believer that Pochettino is the right manager to take us for the future. I have enough of it personally. But let me know how you feel around that, if you're willing to give Pochettino a second chance next season. This year, the plan has always been an end of season review, and despite growing pressure, Pochettino retains the support of the dressing room. Now we have heard the plan that they have had, that they're gonna sit down, have a discussion and review with Pochettino when the season is over. And if they had any sort of football knowledge, these owners, they would have sacked him for a long time ago. And I really know what the sporting directors have much to say, because they've done an awful job. I mean, the whole lot of them should be sacked at this point, but yeah, I mean, as I said, what's the point of bringing in a new manager? We can't find in someone this week and he's gonna play games. We're gonna have to have Pochettino for the last game. And I just personally should be going. And I'm just gonna show you this quickly, what Xavi has done. He has now going to continue to be the Barcelona player. But you remember in winter when it didn't go so well for Barca, and he said he was gonna resign at the end of the season because this is not good enough. He wants the best for the club. Talk about mentality. Pochettino is in 9th place and finding all sort of excuses If I were him and lost 5-0 against Arsenal, I would have resigned myself. Also some news coming around that when he had informed 30 members of the board that he needs experience to the squad, they apparently were not happy hearing about that. But that's obvious because they have this under 25 policy and they just want this manager that's going to say yes to everything and won't say against them. So this doesn't surprise us at all. So I'm not really sure if Pochettino is gonna get the experience, and then he can develop and do better next season if he were to stay here. He continues further that the young squad apparently appreciate what Pochettino has done for them by shielding them from massive criticism and work to foster team spirit in group on new players from different countries. Well, maybe he has a good in-game management depending on who you're asking. Maybe there are certain players going well with Pochettino, but is this necessarily gonna take us forward in the future, become more successful? Is he setting enough standards in there, or is he being too friendly to them? I mean, you can decide for yourself. I personally think you need to have a manager as a Tuchel and Mourinho at Chelsea that's going to set the standards, and they can build a team spirit as well, but they got the winning mentality and saying as it simply is, compared to Pochettino, who's trying to always protect them and never being really honest. It's further that there are also vast majority of Chelsea players that are supporting Pochettino. They would prefer some stability. They want stability. Well, half of these players we signed this year. I mean, they don't know what a new manager could do for them. If they were a fan of Chelsea and they were watching this, I bet you that they were gonna say the same things the Chelsea fan base is saying. But because they are players and they may be getting game time from Pochettino, etc., of course they may be supporting him, and they know they have a long contract here and will earn massive amount of money. Their future is literally secured. So I definitely think a managerial change will actually get us some stability as this club. Many players accept they have frozen under pressure and struggle to adapt to the expectations of being one of the biggest clubs in the Premier League. And there you have it. The owners should see this now. These guys are too young. They can't handle the pressure, except maybe Cole Palmer, Malagusto. But many young of these guys have been struggling massively. Mudryk is definitely one of them. So this is something the owners have to consider now, and maybe bringing in experience. And if I were Pochettino, I would just leave the club if the board just won't back me in summer and give me the players I need for my tactics, etc. Sorgensella also continue with that influential board members also believe Pochettino deserves to remain in charge going then with recognition he has been working with a tough set of circumstances. Well, you put both Tuchel and Potter in that same situation, you put Pochettino in this situation, same if a new manager comes in, and it gets it so much more difficult for them to do their actual work. But in terms of Pochettino's tactics in game management, how he speaks, that is some of the biggest reasons why I don't think he is good enough to be a Chelsea manager and should be sacked. Sure, there has been tough circumstances, we can understand that, but you can't only have that as an excuse the whole time. You're playing players constantly out of position, you're playing players injured, have ridiculous training methods, and you're always coming up with excuses. You never take accountability and never being real honest. So as the board members, of course, they want to keep Pochettino also, because if they were to sack him, they have to pay more money to him and the remaining of his contract. And these board members, I got no trust in them whatsoever, because every decision they have taken so far has literally become a complete failure. I want to show you that Pochettino has broken a record. He has broken a record where he's the manager that has had Chelsea to concede the most goals in Premier League a single season. Total of 57 goals. I mean, we're absolutely leaking in the back. It is crazy. I never seen a defense being so exploited and so open. Show you a post from a seems like a well-known PSG fan on Twitter page, and this is from October the 3rd in 2021, and he got something to say about Pochettino. Pochettino is a disgrace. Not only does he play awful football without any ideas, patterns of play, struggling to dominate games for 8 months now, can't even play his best players in their correct position, and he also isolating them 40 yards apart. He has to go. Pochettino has lost 20% of his PSG games since he took over. PSG have had less or equal shots on target than the opposition in over 56% of all Pochettino's games. They rarely dominated a game from start to finish in 8 months. Do PSG fans really think this is acceptable? We also know the comments Julien Laurent made back in June last year and warned us about getting in Pochettino, because he mentioned that he barely has any tactical sessions in training. So we're seeing multiple people from previous clubs mentioning the same things as most of the Chelsea fans has recognized with Pochettino as a man. He is not good enough to be at the top clubs. I'm sorry, you have to be completely honest there. In him isolating players 40 yards apart, and then we're blaming the players instead. I mean, it's the manager that constantly stressing or responsible for setting up the tactics and game instruction, etc. So yeah, I have zero trust with Pochettino, and the owners, directors, we know they're all responsible for putting Chelsea in this situation. And that's going to be it for the video around the latest news. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down below. Thank you so much for watching. Peace.